The bold and the beautiful, Luna's shocking prison confession changes everything. The cold, sterile walls of the county jail have become Luna Nozawa's latest backdrop for manipulation. But this time, something is different. As she sits in her orange jumpsuit, the weight of her lies finally begins to crush her spirit. The arrival of an unexpected visitor is about to turn the Spencer family's world upside down once again. Bill's desperate prison visit. The metal doors clang shut behind Bill Spencer as he approaches Luna's cell. His usually confident demeanor replaced by a mixture of anger and desperation. His son Will's future hangs in the balance. And despite everything Luna has done, Bill needs answers. The pregnant woman behind bars looks smaller somehow. Her usual defiant spark dimmed by weeks of incarceration. "I didn't think you'd come," Luna whispers, her hands instinctively moving to her growing belly. The baby bump is more pronounced now, a constant reminder of the chaos she's unleashed upon the Spencer family. Bill's jaw tightens as he takes in her appearance. Gone is the manipulative seductress who invaded his home and terrorized his family. In her place sits a young woman who finally seems to grasp the magnitude of her actions. "Will is my son," Bill states flatly, his voice echoing off the concrete walls. "Everything you've done has destroyed his life." Electra won't even look at him anymore, and he blames himself for what happened that night. The weight of guilt. For the first time since her arrest, genuine tears begin to stream down Luna's face. The isolation, the constant fear for her safety, and the growing life inside her have created a perfect storm of emotions she can no longer suppress. "I never meant for it to go this far," she chokes out between sobs. I thought if I could just make him love me, everything would be different." Bill leans forward, his business instincts recognizing something in her voice he hasn't heard before, genuine remorse. "What exactly are you saying, Luna?" Quote. The silence stretches between them, heavy with unspoken truths. Luna's hands tremble as she wipes away her tears, knowing that what she's about to confess will shatter the Spencer family in ways she never intended. "The baby," she whispers, so quietly that Bill has to strain to hear her. "The paternity test. I need to tell you the truth about everything." The devastating confession. Bill's blood runs cold as Luna's words hang in the air. After everything they've been through, after the test results that confirmed Will as the father, she's suggesting there's more to the story. "What truth?" he demands, his voice sharp with newfound tension. Luna takes a shuddering breath, her composure crumbling completely. "Will isn't the father of my baby. I lied about everything, the timeline, the conception, all of it. I manipulated the situation to make it seem like that night at Il Giardino was when I got pregnant." The color drains from Bill's face as the implications hit him. "You're telling me my son has been torturing himself over a child that isn't even his?" Quote. "I was already pregnant when I hurt Will," Luna confesses, her voice breaking. "I thought if I could make everyone believe he was the father, I'd have a way into your family permanently. I never considered how much pain I was causing him." The real father revealed. Bill stands abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. "If Will isn't the father, then who is?" Quote. Luna's shoulders shake as she forces out the name that will complicate everything even further. Zende Forrester is the father of my baby." The revelation hits Bill like a physical blow. Zende, the young designer who once dated RJ. The man Luna had manipulated in a previous web of lies about drugged confusion and mistaken identity. "You mean to tell me that you were carrying Zende's child when you assaulted my son?" Bill's voice is barely controlled fury now. Luna nods miserably. "I was with Zende weeks before that night at the party. It wasn't the confused, accidental encounter I made everyone believe. I seduced him deliberately, and when I realized I was pregnant, I saw an opportunity with Will." The complicated truth. Through her tears, Luna explains the full scope of her deception. Her relationship with Zende had been brief but intense, occurring during one of his low points when he was feeling disconnected from the Forrester family. She had pursued him relentlessly, using his vulnerabilities to draw him into her web. "I knew Zende would never commit to me long-term," she admits. "But the Spencers. You had everything I wanted. Money, power, influence. I thought if I could trap Will with a pregnancy, I'd finally have the life I dreamed of." Bill sinks back into his chair, overwhelmed by the magnitude of her manipulation. "So you let my son believe he was going to be a father? Let him struggle with guilt and trauma, all while carrying another man's child?" Quote. "I know how it sounds," Luna pleads. "But I never meant for Will to suffer so much. I thought once we were together, once the baby came, he'd fall in love with the idea of our family." The ripple effects. As the full truth settles between them, Bill realizes the far-reaching consequences of Luna's confession. Will's entire emotional journey, the guilt, the self-blame, the destruction of his relationship with Electra, has been based on a fundamental lie. He's been trying to come to terms with becoming a father through violence. And it was all unnecessary. Luna's cries intensify as she faces the true cost of her actions. I know I can't undo what I've done. But I couldn't let him carry this burden anymore. He deserves to know the truth. Zenday's unknown paternity. The conversation turns to the man who is actually going to become a father. Zenday has been moving on with his life, completely unaware that his brief encounter with Luna resulted in pregnancy. Does he know? Bill asks. Luna shakes her head. No one knows except you now. I've been carrying this secret alone, watching from my cell as Will destroys himself over something that isn't even his responsibility. Bill stands again, pacing the small visiting room. This changes everything. Will's freedom, his relationship with Elektra, his entire future, it all hangs on this confession. The weight of redemption. For Luna, this moment represents her first genuine attempt at redemption. The months of manipulation, lies, and violence have led to this singular moment of truth. She knows that revealing Zenday as the father won't absolve her of her crimes. But it might free Will from the psychological prison she created for him. I don't expect forgiveness, she tells Bill quietly. I just want Will to know that his life doesn't have to be defined by what I did to him. He can have his future with Elektra, his dreams, everything I tried to steal from him. Bill looks at the broken woman before him, trying to reconcile this remorseful person with the calculating manipulator who invaded his family's lives. What made you finally tell the truth? Quote, Luna places both hands on her belly, feeling the baby move beneath her palms. This child deserves to know their real father. And Will deserves to be free from the lie I trapped him in. I've already destroyed so much, I won't let my baby grow up thinking their father is someone who was hurt because of me. The aftermath. As their visit concludes, Bill prepares to leave with information that will fundamentally alter multiple lives. Will's liberation from false paternity, Elektra's potential path back to him, and Zenday's shocking entrance into unexpected fatherhood, all of these revelations stem from Luna's finally choosing truth over self-preservation. What happens now? Luna asks as Bill prepares to go. Now I have to figure out how to tell my son that his nightmare is ending, Bill replies. And somehow, we all have to figure out how to move forward from the damage you've caused. As Bill walks away from the prison, Luna remains behind bars, finally unburdened by the weight of her ultimate deception but fully aware that her path to redemption has only just begun. The truth she's revealed will ripple through Los Angeles, changing destinies and perhaps offering the Spencer family their first real chance at healing from the trauma she inflicted upon them. Next, we will learn about the explosive developments surrounding Sheila Sharp's crumbling marriage and the shocking chain of events that could tear apart everything she's worked so hard to build with. Deacon Sharp. Sheila's deepening marital crisis. The foundation of Sheila Sharp's marriage is experiencing unprecedented tremors that threaten to shatter the delicate balance she's maintained since saying her vows to Deacon Sharp. Her anxiety isn't unfounded or merely the product of her historically paranoid tendencies. This time, the danger to her relationship is devastatingly real and immediate. Deacon has been emotionally devastated by the Luna Nozawa revelation, a bombshell that landed with such force that he's genuinely contemplating whether he can continue wearing his wedding ring. The psychological impact of discovering his wife's connection to someone as dangerous as Luna has left him questioning everything he thought he knew about the woman sleeping beside him each night. The revelation struck at the very core of his trust, forcing him to reevaluate whether the reformed Sheila he believed in was ever truly real or simply an elaborate performance. What makes this situation particularly precarious is that Deacon's consideration of divorce, while emotionally driven, could represent a decision made in haste that he might later regret with profound intensity. The timing couldn't be worse for their relationship, as the wounds are fresh and his ability to think rationally has been compromised by the emotional whirlwind consuming him. However, despite the legitimate nature of his feelings of betrayal, emotions that any reasonable person would experience under similar circumstances, there's a critical component he needs to carefully consider before making any irreversible choices. The recent events surrounding Luna have taken a dramatic turn that fundamentally alters the landscape of this entire situation. The Luna Nozawa imprisonment reality. Sheila has been working overtime to emphasize to her increasingly distant husband that Luna has been secured behind bars once again, effectively neutralizing any immediate threat she might pose to their lives or relationship. She's stressed repeatedly that even if her maternal instincts were screaming at her to intervene on Luna's behalf, the practical reality is that she's powerless to facilitate any kind of assistance or rescue. The legal barriers are simply too formidable, and any attempt to interfere would only succeed in landing Sheila herself back in the very prison system she fought so desperately to escape. In the immediate future, the likelihood of Luna engineering some spectacular escape or experiencing a miraculous legal reversal that grants her freedom is virtually non-existent. The charges against her are too serious, the evidence too overwhelming, and the public scrutiny too intense for any shortcuts or loopholes to emerge. However, there's one inevitable development that Sheila knows is coming but has been reluctant to fully acknowledge. Luna will almost certainly demand visitation rights with her grandmother. These visits would force Sheila into an impossible position, requiring her to maintain contact with the granddaughter whose actions are destroying her marriage, while simultaneously trying to convince Deacon that her family connections don't define her character. The emotional complexity of this situation is staggering, as Sheila finds herself torn between blood loyalty and the love she's built with her husband. The Bill Spencer connection completely severed. The sequence of events involving Bill Spencer and Luna Nozawa reads like something from the most far-fetched soap opera script, yet it unfolded with stunning rapidity that left viewers struggling to process each successive twist. The fact that Luna managed to manipulate the powerful and typically shrewd Bill Spencer into orchestrating her release from prison demonstrated a level of cunning and persuasive ability that was genuinely remarkable. But Bill didn't simply secure her release through standard bail procedures. He went several steps further into territory that defied all logical boundaries. Not only did he successfully navigate the legal system to gain her freedom, but he also convinced the authorities to release Luna directly into his personal custody, allowing her to reside in his own home where he could supposedly monitor and rehabilitate her. The soap opera drama escalated to unprecedented heights when Bill executed what seemed impossible, securing a full pardon for Luna through gubernatorial intervention. While pardons and sentence commutations are certainly documented occurrences in real-world politics, with various political figures throughout history exercising this power for both legitimate and controversial reasons, the decision to grant Luna complete freedom was absolutely staggering in its audacity. This woman had methodically plotted the murder of a man she believed to be her biological father, displaying cold calculation in her planning. She had also taken the life of someone she called a friend simply because that person had stumbled upon information that could expose her true connection and motives. There existed absolutely no justifiable basis for the governor in this fictional version of California to extend any measure of leniency or compassion toward someone with such a disturbing criminal record. Yet somehow, inexplicably, that political figure agreed to the pardon, and Luna walked free from her cell without serving meaningful time for her heinous actions. The situation deteriorated with shocking speed after her release. Luna's true nature erupted in a violent rampage that targeted the very family that had extended mercy toward her. She shot Liam Spencer, Bill's own son, in an attack that initially appeared fatal. In a moment that stretched credibility even by soap opera standards, Liam miraculously regained consciousness and returned fire, striking Luna in the chest with precision. But her violent intentions didn't end there. She set her sights on Steffi Forrester Finnegan, preparing to pull the trigger on yet another victim. In a tragic twist of fate, her bullet instead found Sheila, who took the shot that was meant for Steffi. These brutal offenses against the Spencer family completely and permanently severed any connection Luna might have had with Bill. Dollar Bill has definitively crossed her name off his Christmas card list forever, and any possibility of redemption in his eyes has been utterly obliterated. Deacon's strategic move toward Taylor Hayes. It's far from coincidental that Deacon deliberately selected Taylor Hayes to serve as his therapist during this turbulent period in his life. The mere fact that Deacon Sharp, a man not historically known for introspection or seeking professional mental health support, has chosen to engage with a licensed psychiatric professional about any topic whatsoever is enough to raise eyebrows throughout Los Angeles. But the eyebrow that rises highest and most suspiciously is Deacon's own whenever he sets eyes on the stunning drive, Taylor Hayes. Taylor represents far more than just a qualified mental health professional who can help him navigate his marital crisis. She's an exceptionally attractive, accomplished woman who currently finds herself single and available after her recent romantic disappointment. More specifically, she's Ridge Forrester's latest castoff, a woman still processing the emotional aftermath of another failed relationship with the man who has dominated so much of her romantic history. Deacon is acutely aware of Taylor's availability, and this knowledge has clearly influenced his decision-making process in ways that have nothing to do with therapeutic benefits. He's also thoroughly conscious of the fact that Ridge will experience significant discomfort, possibly even rage, when he inevitably discovers that Taylor has accepted Deacon as a patient. The professional boundary violation implications alone would be enough to trigger Ridge's protective instincts. But Deacon's mind is already racing ahead to even more provocative possibilities. Just imagine the nuclear-level reaction his longtime rival for Brooke Logan's affections would exhibit if Deacon and Taylor were to transcend the doctor-patient relationship entirely. The prospect of romantic involvement with Taylor offers Deacon not only companionship and validation during his marital crisis but also the delicious opportunity to deliver a devastating blow to Ridge's ego. It's a multi-layered strategy that addresses his emotional needs while simultaneously settling old scores.